VP are going to pick something that they feel is good and suits their draft rather than something that wins the mid lane because, like, yeah, it's just a troll.
Also, give me 1 second.
Thanks.
Sure. I think mine should be good too as well. Though I had some issues earlier today. It's going to be
mine's
up and
on.
down a
Okay,
bit.
now it says it's transmitting. I don't know if that actually fixed it.
Sometimes people tuning in just need to retoggle the channel a bit.
Well, mine was like
it
was red, like it wasn't broadcasting now.
Okay.
Now it appears to be a white bubble, but
so VP, I mean, they can run Ursa mid. I guess that's where they want to pick a safe laner, like you mentioned, the Terrorblade. They can. I mean, TB can even be played mid. We've seen like NP do that with Eternal Envy a bit, and Hero definitely does all right there. But OD comes out, so they get a save. They also get like a decent mid that can scale and DPS pretty well. Doesn't necessarily handle the Slack super well, although can burst him down pretty nicely using the Standings Eclipse. So they've got 2 pretty good AoE spells, really 3 actually, the Vacuum, Burrow Strike, as well as the Standings Eclipse, or Epicenter even there. So they've got good AoE damage to actually hit the Slack during Shadow Dance and make sure he doesn't just escape away.
yeah, you also have another like kind of disengage ability with the Astral just to potentially save an ally who's been lassoed, to keep someone alive while Slark is going on them in Shadow Dance. So.
Yep.
Okay, gods, here we go. Game 1. It is only a best of 3, not a BO5 like we've had in qualifiers past, so not a whole lot of margin for error here. And as you mentioned, it's been a fairly long day for NaVi. We'll see how that affects them as the teams get into their lanes. NaVi TPing in early with Biver. They drop the deep lane ward. Meanwhile, Solo, on one of his typical smokes, gets a ward out near that bottom lane to keep eyes on any potential movement into the jungle. And it looks like VP going aggressive here.
Ooh, so yeah, Darkseid already heading up top. Interesting. So yeah, Ramsey's down bottom. What are they? I guess, yeah, Slack not really known for having a strong lane phase and a hero that can get pressured a lot in the early game lane stage. I'd say Oracle used to be fine in these kind of aggressive situations, but a lot of his spells have kind of received small little nerfs over the various patches. This hero used to be like one of the best 5-position supports, but after a couple of nerfs, this hero just isn't quite what it used to be, and it does look like NaVi may have to either adjust their lineups or kind of do something else. Pycat immediately running towards top once his bounty rune gets contested is likely going to just ditch this bottom lane.
All right, yeah. So screw that. You can have the fun down there.
It doesn't do a whole lot better
General.
top though. It's still a Darkseer versus Slark. He's got the Oracle to help purge those Iron Shells a little bit, but you can only really purge so much of them, and Darkseer should farm pretty nicely against the Slark up here.
Yeah, obviously, like you see the Ursa and you go for a Slark, you can't expect to have easy lanes. There's always going to be a potential weakness to exploit there. Just not really why you pick Slark. He's not a particularly strong laner. But they do have the Ogre to secure mid, so Denny can get off to a good start. Then maybe Armen roams that way and tries to give the Slark a little space. For now, though, they're in the dual lane to make the Darkseer sad, and VP looks like we'll be rotating their Sand King as well. Lil gonna join the skirmish here in the mid lane.
Interesting. Armen playing the Ogre for once. Almost always we see Biver playing this one, but imagine he's the guy who also normally plays the Ogre, so Armen probably saying like, look, I'd rather play the Ogre than play the Oracle, so...
Uh-oh. Tough start here for General, who took Sticky Napalm, has the boots, but Ramses also has his own, gets off a follow-up clap, and this likely the first blood. Indeed it will be. Ramses drawing it. General going for the level 1 Napalm, and he gets punished.
Yeah. It's a rough start indeed.
Although, I mean, you can probably attribute that to the lane swap, not being quite aware that the Ursa would already have the boots and just ambushing him with it.
Yeah, I've managed to do pretty well against the Darkseer up top. He didn't go for any clarity, so unfortunately for Pasha, he couldn't really stay in this lane. Like his first couple Iron Shells getting purged. Often with the changes to Darkseer, his Iron Shell costs a lot more mana than he used to. This is actually kind of a tough lane for him as a result.
Overall laning setup, gods. It looks like farm-wise, VP getting the edge here. They've also gotten a first blood. Do they just straight up win the lanes? Is there an adjustment Navi can make to...
I think RMN's Ogre is probably the hero that can roam around and be annoying. He doesn't really offer a threat at bottom lane with the Batrider to get kills, but likely we see him just stick around this mid lane and try and give Troll a bit of an edge. Unfortunately for Dendy, even with the Ogre's presence so far, he hasn't really done all too well in CS, just the 2 last hits and 3 denies. So if Navi can win top lane and perhaps have Ogre help them secure this mid lane a bit more, at least 2 of the 3 lanes will be going well for them, and they'll be okay with Batrider just getting experience, which so far he hasn't been able to really do at bottom, but with a level 2 and Firefly, he should be able to at least get XP down bottom.
Alright, so Dendy definitely still getting that help from the Ogres. No one continues to receive a lot of pressure, but still CSing fine. 6-1 already. They're making the dive on bottom. They have found General again. 3 heroes converging on the Batrider. They're going to chase him through the tree line, but with the point in Firefly, he's not as easy of a kill. The Caustic slowing him down just a little bit. Juki back towards the tower. RMN tries to join the fray. Not going to matter. Suddenly, the Ursa converges on him. This could easily be 2, maybe 3 Navi heroes going down, as the Ursa is just going to be king of the castle at this point. Finds another. Lil getting the last hit, and VP just waltz away. The trickle in effect simply does not work against Ursa.
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster. 1 by 1, just feeding the Ursa. It looked like Bat was trying to Firefly onto that little poking out cliff point at the bottom of the map where you can plant wards, but couldn't. I don't know. Pathing, I guess, stopped him from doing so, and didn't really have a good escape even with Firefly up. So that was the Ogre rotating off the mid lane, which means Dendy's not getting that help. They're already losing bottom lane. They lose it even harder now with the extra kill being given up, and just the 1 lane up top going well for Navi right now.
I mean, in good news, it's going super well. He is 20 and 11 already as a Slark.
Man, that's actually crazy. Slark he's only now in the straight 1v1, but even with earlier, there's just like 1 Fortune's End from the Oracle onto those Iron Shells really just gave him all he needed in this lane, and he's going to start really pressuring Pasha. He's got an Orb of Venom. He's actually going to be playing super aggressive, looking for kills.
And you can see Pasha still trying to actually just buy the Soul Ring. He can't even get to the shop. Although Pycat will see him going and comes right back. He has the lane ward, so he can tell anytime Pasha makes this move as bottom lane General getting pursued out again, hounded by Ramses. What is the range on those claws? My god. Didn't look like he was in melee range. Probably would have caught him anyway with the phase boost. But another kill, make it 2 more, and yeah, Ursa is out of control. This is a problem.
Yeah, this is a
This is looking like classic Ursa pub game.
Yeah. 5-0 at 4 minutes in, and he's only got 3 of those kills for himself. But top lane Slark getting very aggressive, is now going to find Lil up there.
Oh no, the Caustic canceled his salve. Pycat is a sad panda. Looking for the turnaround though, perhaps with Biver coming in will force Lil back in a way. So they go back to their tri-lane. They stop trying to help General. They're just going to leave him against Ramses. And Ramses is going to rotate, at least for now. Looks for that haste rune, perhaps? No, just the courier. We'll grab some clarities here. Head back to the lane, but yeah, he doesn't really need help. I mean, at this point, even if he can't kill Bat, he can certainly zone him pretty effectively.
Oh yeah, and he's going to get the fast level 6 now, so even ganking him gets more difficult with the damage block and the turnaround potential with the enrage. So this bottom lane Ursa becomes a nastier and nastier problem. Solo's just heading back, but I think this is where if you're a support like Solo, you're just like, yeah, let's play around my Ursa. He's pretty strong and scary right now. If I'm near him, I'm probably safe. I can get some wards down, set up some kills, and that's where you're gonna get the most done. So he's back down bottom with the Ursa.
It's not like if you're Navi, you're like, oh yeah, let me just go scout around the jungle by myself when Ursa's missing.
Yeah.
Probably not the case.
Mostly just look at this top lane as like a lane where heroes like Sand King and Darks are going to go try to leech experience, so you don't really necessarily want to try and fight up top. You just want to send like a Sand King to leech XP and get some farm where possible.
The one lane I'm a little curious about, guys, does Troll normally struggle this much against an OD, considering he's gotten a lot of help from his Ogre? At least the last few times I've checked the lane, the Ogre's been there. Should he not be CSing better?
I think the denies are really good for Dendy. That's something where normally OD can secure CS pretty well using the Astral, and he is leveling up the Astral as his primary ability. So given that no one's leveling Astral, I'd say this is like pretty normal in terms of CS. Perhaps Troll a little bit under where he'd want to be in terms of his CS, but the denies is definitely a positive sign.
Yeah, it's a well-documented aspect of Dendy's laning that he really does prioritize denies more than other mid laners historically, so could play into it as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the players, if he can get a CS or a deny, he'll normally choose the deny over the CS sometimes. And
what a jerk. Oh, Lil using the Burrow Strike here on an Ogre illusion. Pycat wants to punish that. He pounces in off the mark, though, and now Pasha back into the fray. Pycat, level 6, so he should be able to get out of here no matter what, barring a catastrophic error. He will get burrowed, though. Still not using that ultimate. He's been healed up a bit longer. He finally has to commit it just with extra move speed, but VP continuing to chase, so they blunt any potential upcoming aggression from the Slark.
And bottom tower actually went down during all that, so Ramses has just managed to solo push the bottom lane just by constant chipping, and he can skip the wave pretty well as well. So his Helm of the Dominator going to be up very early on, and getting a creep at like 8-9 minutes in as Nursa is going to allow you to really just roam around the map, play super aggressive. You can get, there's a lot of good creeps you can get to really benefit you. And NaVi are going to be...
Oh, look at this aggression, gods. They know Batrider's off the lane. They're not going to let him farm in the jungle. Straight onto him. Ramses will move. One more attack. Actually make it 2. Grabs another kill. So already a dominating streak. The jungle isn't safe. The lane isn't safe. And soon Roshan won't be either, as you mentioned. About to get the Dominator.
Oh, he's got the Elf Wolf as well. Yeah, the Dominator means he's probably taking Roche at level 8 with Fury swipes if he wants to, since the creep can tank Roche for you. But it doesn't have to go for Roche, and he can just look to continue to snowball. But getting an Aegis early on is definitely a nice thing to do. And he's smoked up with Sanking, so this could be for Roche, could be for making a play. We'll see where the priority lies for VP.
Not a whole lot of mana on Lil, so looks like it will be end of the pit. Can NaVi, I mean, even if they knew about this, could they contest right now? They don't feel very strong.
Not really. I guess VP aren't grouped up around it. They're just relying on the sneakiness of smoking in there at this stage to get Roche. So Dark's is not really in a position to do much, neither is OD. So if they had there with numbers, they could have done something about it, but it would have become very obvious. Lil didn't even attack. He stayed smoke in the Roche pit, so if they came to contest it, his smoke would pop and he'd know that that heroes were nearby.
So General ends up moving to the off lane, and guess who's there to greet him? It's his old friend Ramses. Shows himself in the lane. And reinforcements have arrived in the form of Lil. Gets a surge into a burrow, but General barely able to sneak over the cliffside there and back to safety. As that one of those first troll ultimates does get used. Dendy just taking over, farming the Ancients. They drive General off the lane, and they go straight onto the tier 1 tower, so VP, very aggressive laning stage, really trying to secure map control here. Setting up for a second Roshan, perhaps, down the line. And for NaVi gods, I guess the question becomes, like, how are they going to start asserting some map control, taking fights, or do they just have no ability to do that for the next 10, 15 minutes?
And assuming VP pushing with enough numbers, I don't really think NaVi have plays they can make, because they have no blink on Batrider, they have no initiation item on Pycat. He doesn't have his Shadow Blade or his Blink Dagger, so Troll doesn't really have too many items. I guess the Troll Helm of the Dominator you can make some plays with, and may see like a smoke with an extra creep, but given that right now VP have Aegis, this is very much a NaVi, like a farming period for NaVi. They're going to be looking to keep away from VP during this Aegis period. Problem is, Batrider is miles away from a Blink Dagger right now.
Oh, Lil pulling out the jukes, breaking some ankles in the bottom lane. Biver trying to catch him out with the Fortune's End, but just a calm Sandstorm dodge, and then do away. So VP just outmaneuvering NaVi around the map there.
Yep.
Going to smoke up as a pack of 3, head towards that bottom lane where they do have a ward planted. Sentry deny was attempted earlier, unsuccessful. And let's see which way they go. Looks like they will find the Slark, and they do it. Before he's able to get off a Dark Pact, he's just going to go down without a fight. The lone ray of hope, really, for this NaVi squad also bites the dust. So the pressure mounts. All the while, no one, yeah, by the way, has a Midas. Kind of just quietly farming away in the mid lane. Significantly ahead of Dendy now. Mostly due to the tower gold, but has not had any pressure. There is an OD in this game, guys, lest you forget.
he doesn't even have to enter the game, you know, he can just stay out of the game. He can keep jungling, he can keep farming his lane. His team's probably just giving him word like, look, they can make all these aggressive smoke moves without the involvement of the OD right now. He can, yeah, continue to farm the lane and the jungle, which he's been doing so far. Level 10, he's not as farmed as the Ursa, since Ursa's had the tower gold at bottom, the Roche money, the kills, but if things kind of continue at this rate, OD's going to catch up to his own Ursa, maybe even overtake him just by the farming efficiency of the Midas.
There's a blink on Ramses now. He scouts with Big Bird. This is a slightly more vicious Big Bird than what you might be accustomed to if you were a Sesame Street fan.
And this is the first smoke from now. It kind of feels like the blink of General is too far away. They're just going to go for something. Saw a Batrider earlier today in the Chinese qualifier from in July, and like he had a rough start, but he just said, look, screw my blink, I can make plays with just lasso, and that was kind of their way back into the game, and I think they need something similar from General.
Oh no, they find Lily Burrows, TP's out, and just no way to stop it.
This is, yeah, brutal, as NaVi can't find a single kill so far, and their woes continue, and likely after that failed smoke, they just have to fall back to the jungle, farm a few camps.
You know, as a commentator, guys, you're always looking for, like, entertainment, for a back-and-forth series. I'm looking for, like, a pulse here. It just doesn't... NaVi just doesn't seem to have one. They're just rolling over. It's almost a 10,000 gold lead for VP, 5,000 experience, tower after tower falling, 7-0 to the score. Like, they lost basically every lane. Well, hell, I would say every lane, considering Pycat has since died, so you can't even really say he won in the end. Well, when's it going to happen? It just doesn't seem like it. Solo moves in. He struts up onto the Ogre, and they will quickly bring him down, even managing to steal the level 3 Bloodlust. So guess what? It's so Ursa needed more attack speed, more move speed. He's got it now.
That may actually be the best spell you could steal on the entire NaVi side right now. Perhaps the Battle Trance is better. I take the Bloodlust over the Battle Trance just because it's 100% uptime.
Oh, and the move speed is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so.
it's better than the Battle Trance, really. So I don't really feel like there's a better spell to have for the constant fighting. Like, yeah, there's some, like, a False Promise could be good, but you're not really ever in danger of dying. You're so far ahead, you're so strong. This just enables your cores to do more and more damage, to get more and more out of control. So we'll see how this works. I think item-wise, like, I mean, to talk about what VP can look to do, if they want to keep getting further ahead and control and close out this game, getting items like Desolator on Ursa could be really good this game. They do kind of lack building hitters, but that's where we've seen Ursa's kind of adjust their build, start getting the Deso, and just playing and probably pushing around like this Darkseer mech timing. They're not going to be able to get any kind of a high ground put. I mean, the Aegis has expired, so the second Roche is probably what they're eyeing off. And perhaps a second Roche that they're going to give to the OD rather than the Ursa, but we'll see if that's the case. But as it stands, they're very, very far ahead.
Well, you can see the Navi game plan. They're somewhat cowering in the darkness, just eking out little scraps of farm wherever they can. Guerrilla warfare tactics, deep beneath enemy lines, hiding in the trees. As well, VP are ready for that. They scan, they find General, and they massacre him again. So another death for the Batrider. I think at this point, you know, maybe you just start building your drums, because getting a blink just seems like an ambitious task.
General's worst games I've probably seen all qualifiers from him, and
is this the fuck General strat?
Jeez, it seems that way. You know, but the old NaVi, like when they were kind of had their moments where they were good, the plan was always like, if you want to beat NaVi, you shut down General. He's the playmaker. He's the guy you want to beat and shut down. Dendi's always going to get the help and support in mid lane. That's like typically been like their support playstyle, is to give Dendi the edge in mid. But if you shut down the playmaker General, even if Dendi farms and does well mid, it doesn't seem like NaVi have that scary presence come mid game. And that's exactly where they stand right now. No blink still. No blink inside, like he's halfway there as a Batrider at 15 minutes.
And that should be said, I guess, as far as Navi's prospects go, they do have great late game. They have Battle Trance, they have a Slark, they have Bloodlust, they have a pretty good scaling support in the Oracle, who doesn't need a whole lot of farm. So, like, I guess that's the silver line, is as horrendous of a game as this is, they don't really need to have an explosive start to take it late, but at the same time, you know, VP are no slouches come late game either. You know, OD scales quite well. You've got the Darkseer teamfight potential. lots of AoE to work with, and it's not like Navi are going to have BKB for Dendi anytime particularly soon. So
Yep.
I'm trying to find the silver
Navi.
lining and talk it up, but truth be told, it's going to take
Navi
some
are
big
gonna need
mistakes. from
BKBs,
VP.
and yeah, until they get BKBs, they're not fighting into the OD and all the AoE, the Sanking, the Darkseer, and all that. And if they rush the BKBs, well, they're not able to keep up in terms of farm. BKBs are going to slow down their rate of farm. It's an item that kind of you typically want to buy to fight now, and I don't think Navi really want to fight, but at the same time, if they don't get the BKBs, they're also going to just continue to feed, so they're kind of in this tough, awkward position where there's no real ideal way to play this, but yeah, it looks like Pycat and Dendi are both queuing up those BKBs, saying, we got to at least get these and try and take a fight, even though we're miles behind. You can try and take a fight with a 10, 15k gold deficit if you get good value out of those 10-second BKBs.
Of course, the downside is if you lose those fights, then your economy is an absolute shambles.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, yeah, that's where like you really start talking about, is it just game over for Navi if that first fight or two with 10-second BKBs just completely fails. But they also have to get there. As it stands, VP continuing to control the map, push out all the lanes. They'll likely secure this, or at least go for that second Roche. And Navi are not going to have BKBs up before that second Roche respawn, so they want to contest it. They're going to have to do so just with the newly picked up Blink. So finally items have come out. General gets a Blink, Pycat gets a Shadow Blade. They've actually got their core items that they were supposed to have maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago, but they've got them nonetheless, and they can at least try and use these now. It opens up plays where they can use smokes and actually find kills.
Well, good call on the Desolator for Ursa, by the way, and Ramses basically has it now.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
that is.
I saw him.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I saw him queue up a Basher earlier and was like, oh, he's going to go for the Basher, but yeah, I think the Deso is way better this game.
Oh, Rubik. Hello, Solo in the mid lane. It looks like the general debut of the Blink. Use the lasso. Yeah, it's a support, but support kills are pretty big at this point when VP's had so much map control all game long. He's fairly high level, level 9. And a much needed kill for them, so Navi will be very happy with that. I mean, you'd love a core, but these cores are extremely difficult to kill.
And you just, I think team morale goes up when you don't have anything. And if they can turn that one support kill into another couple of support kills, or a core kill maybe next time, suddenly this game, they're in a position where this game gets a whole lot more winnable, and they kind of start to claw their way back in.
So it looks like Navi might be trying to force this tower, which could draw VP to side between Roshan or the tower. They're expecting Roche will be up very soon if he's not already. Probably thinking VP or Roshan this very second, given it's been about 11 minutes. In fact, he has not respawned just yet, and Navi are a little nervous.
Here come VP. This Ursa's going to completely claw his way through here in no time at all with the Desolator.
They like have to completely chain stun him, or he is
Yeah.
it's going to kill them all. And the problem is, he has a lot of crowd control backing him up. So,
Oh yeah.
you're not reliably able to just jump the Ursa and expect no consequences. Now a Blink secured for Pasha, so that big vacuum into Burrow Strike and hell, maybe an Epicenter is a real possibility as Navi dance around on their own side of the map, quite unsure of where they want to go. CVP scanning. And they do want to fight this. They don't have the BKB on Dendi. Pycat neither. They're walking into trouble, and VP seem to be in a great position to take this fight. Pasha's there with the back to start off. The follow-up Burrow comes through onto 2 almost immediately, but the lasso is there, keeping the Ursa away his arm, man. He's like, guys, the Roche is low. Let's kill it off. Pycat gets the last hit. General grabs the Aegis. Navi have found the Roche, but can they win the fight? That's the real question. This Ursa is big. He's bad, and he is quite mad. They brought down 4. They're going to look for Biver as well. It's likely to be 5 with the Astral. He'll fall 2. And scrambling for the hills is the lone survivor. It's General. It's 6 dead for Navi. They steal the Roche. They steal the Aegis. And they get their asses beat horribly for it.
That Ursa wasn't happy. He's like, that's my Aegis. Go happen. I'm going to claw you all down. That's not happening on my watch. And, well, VP very handily won fight. I mean, that the sheer net worth advantage just becomes kind of insurmountable in a fight like that. Navi didn't have BKBs. And you talk about how they look to fight into stuff like the Sanking, the Darkseer. I mean, let alone the Ursa. I think the only way you can beat the Ursa is if you're not getting disabled, and if you can ignore the Sanking, Burrow Strike, and ignore the Vacuum, then yeah, you can perhaps handle the Ursa, but you can't do that without those BKBs. And, well, even without an Aegis, it looks like VP are perhaps considering going for some kind of a play around this top lane, at least maintaining map presence so they can keep Na'Vi in their base. They've got 4k gold on OD, another 2k gold on Ursa, everyone getting very, very farmed on this VP side.
Now you can see no one has a Blink Dagger in the quick buy. I'm wondering if he's like, yeah, you know what, I'll just buy like a tier 4 item now instead. Screw that Blink. But things are looking rather good for VP. This is a best of 3, so even should Na'Vi lose it, they'll have a chance to claw their way back in. And last time they played VP, I think they lost game 1 and still bounced back in game 2. But
yeah, that's right.
This, I mean, when VP is on their A game, it kind of feels like they're on a different level from Navi's. Pycat, as I say that, will find Solo, but gets astraled by no one. Now the lasso, kidnapping him while trying to kill off Solo as well. Will General be able to make it out? That's the question. Use the Blink to initiate, goes up onto the hill. TP out attempted, no one does have the Burrow Strike support, so they're going to get a Rubik, but it cost them a bat in turn. Which was honestly, I think, given the deficit, probably a net worth win for Na'Vi, or at least an even trade, but...
Yeah, probably is.
Oh, actually, it's, the Rubik's pretty poor.
Okay. Sacco gets
forget
caught
the
out
grass,
by
though.
on the retreat.
Yeah, that Ursa is out for vengeance. Ramsey's just rampaging through the mid lane, does find another kill. 16-3 the score. Only 6 more to go, gods. Only 6 more to go.
It's slowly happening. And Ramsey, well, I say slowly, Ramsey's going to speed it up a little bit.
Well, Astral's there. Armen trying to throw out maybe a little bloodlust from the high ground. Go, Denny. Live and prosper. Oh, not going to happen. He's dead as well. So, all 3 cores down. VP converging on the base. Game 1, a very clinical affair so far, and it looks like this is, if not the end just yet, likely the beginning of that end.
I mean, the biggest weakness of VP's lineup is always going to be their ability to hit buildings, and as much as their lineup can scale late or right, they can never really hit buildings well with Ursa, but he's made up for it with this Deso pickup, and they're pushing high ground early enough time before Na'Vi have items. Oh, there was a sentry.
Oh god. Blink and you'll miss it. 2 more have fallen. Diver on the run. It's over, Na'Vi. They're already dead. VP, have mercy. Just kill their buildings. Knock them off the map and into game 2. I mean, if you could beat a team so hard in game 1 that you would just straight up win the whole series off of it, if there was some way to quantify a win being just too damned one-sided, I think this would be it. This is pretty ugly.
Dendi, he's got BKB, he's gonna waste it more or less. Doesn't really get much out. It gets out of an Earth Shock and obviously stops any follow-up disables or spells from hitting him, but that's the 10-second BKB, and, well, VP, back off, we'll take the Shrines. Very, very straightforward game from VP. Started with a laning win at the bottom lane with the Ursa, and it really was the Ramsey show. He just completely snowballed out of control this game.
Oh, Solo stole Battle Trance, by the way, so well, that'll be handy for pushing in the next lane of Rex.
Yep, absolutely, and I don't even imagine VP necessarily feel like they want to wait for Roche. They've got so many big items coming out their way. The Ursa gets his BKB. The OD's about to have Blink and BKB of his own as well, so the late game items that are coming really in the mid game continue as the deficit just gets bigger and bigger between these 2 teams.
Well, gods, we've got a little downtime here. I guess we can dig into the autopsy and start talking about why Na'Vi is a corpse right now.
Well, here's the Hail Mary, LD. They've the four-man smoking. Do you smoke as 5? I don't know.
Did everyone get bloodlusted yet? If so, I guess it doesn't really matter. No, no bloodlust. All right, this is a huge mistake.
He'll TP in onto the shrine, perhaps.
What shrine?
No. Yeah,
VP have already decided to slay it.
All right.
Someone kill it. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking about the autopsy here, like, where did it really go wrong for Na'Vi? Do you think it was the laning setup? We'll see this last fight momentarily. Blink, vacuum, BKB from Denny. He immediately scrambles away. Pycat also gets off the Shadow Dance and will likewise retreat, but the buildings, they can't run, and VP are coming for those as well.
Yeah, I think draft-wise, it was always going to be a tough game. They picked the Slark very early, like they third-picked it because we're seeing it get banned out from some of the teams against Na'Vi. It has been one of Pycat's preferred heroes, but the hero has some weaknesses that VP exploited. Like, they pressured it in, well, they forced a kind of rough laning stage by forcing Na'Vi to rotate these lanes a lot.
Ramsey's getting to work with the BKBs. They pound on Na'Vi, almost finish off Denny with the big hammer drop. Not quite, but I have these. He's like, I expected I could kill him in one less auto attack, turning around prematurely a few times now. But that's 2 lanes of racks, and any moment now, NaVi will accept their fate. They'll tap out while they still have any dignity left. There you go.
I think it was always
3-22. I think they wanted
Perfect.
the meme gods. They were like, you know what? We're playing against solo. We got completely spanked. It looks so bad. It's almost like we threw the game. Let's